What up, Pittsburgh Steelers fans? It is Matty Peverell and Marky D. Marky D back for TDU Boys. We were back for, what was it? Mad Monday. Struggling there, Mad Monday. And now back for TDU Boys as always. How you doing, mate?
I'm doing all right. I'm not even really sure. It's 8:40, and we covered. I think last episode we covered offense and some random questions and stuff like that. But today's one's going to be fun too. We're going to give you two players from defense, and I'm going to put money. Put money. I'm done too, man. Like this is sometimes wake up in the morning like I'm just not clear. I need to go do like my vocal exercise. I need to start singing in the shower. Do you know what I mean? To get warmed up. I don't do that. Do you do that? Do you warm up your vocals when you jump on, or do you start talking?
Sometimes I've had like a tea or something, but yeah, I felt like I wanted to do today. Today I'm in a bit of a rush, but I'd want to. I might start singing. I'm struggling. Like, yeah, my throat's pretty croaky at the moment, so I'm battling something.
I might start singing the Australian anthem. I think in the shower just to get things moving. You know, just to get. G'day, Thomas. Thomas is a new guy. What's going on? Where'd Thomas come from?
Before. Welcome, Thomas.
Oh, okay. G'day, Thomas. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun one today. I'm pretty keen, man.
So, I know you're the one asking questions for this show, but I did see the Steelers Wire, I think, put a part of Touchdown Wire or some boring internet thing. Anyway, they ranked Cameron Hayward as the 9th best defensive lineman in the league. It was a dumb list. Vita Vea was number 11. Vita Vea is like arguably the best. There are a couple of people up the top anyway that like are good, but I just sort of thought it was just interesting. Like Cam Hayward, number 9. I don't think he's top 3, probably not top 5, but that they're ranking this stuff on stats. Anyway, I just thought it was interesting. It was one of those articles you see this time of year before camp when there's no news, someone coming out with something just stupid anyway.
It's the same with a lot of the stuff now. They're linking Kareem Hunt to the Steelers.
I saw that. No way. Why would waste of money, awful character. Why do we want that? Nah, it's not happening, man.
But it's all those Bleacher Reports, it's the PWFs, it's all those kind of pretty much rumors. You know, they're not even sources. It's not even from the Steelers, not even from a reporter, not even from the locker room.
It's like the Steelers are out on holiday, man.
Well, it's dumb. Like those guys out there are pretty much saying this guy would fit this, or I think this fits this. Therefore, rumor creates, and then you and I got to shoot it down like we're skeet shooting. When like, another rumor. Boom.
There was another one this week with your mates at All Steelers Talk. They
yeah, they're gonna be mate. They're a bit like this.
And there was another chat sports one about who they're bringing in. I was like, Mark could be having a field day. But yeah, Jedevil one. Yeah, I don't know. You versus Tours.
Yeah, I've been asking. I got featured on Ike Taylor and Mike Bergen answered that question the other day. It was fantastic. They brought it up. Awesome. Yeah, so I think I asked you a few weeks ago. I said,
I said I'd take Devo every time.
Yeah, that's what Ike said too. Ike said before he gets up, you know. But yeah, there's a few people out there. This time, just use your viewer intellect and like when you see a thing say traded or trade with a picture of Highsmith, it doesn't mean he's been traded. It means they want you to click so you go, should he be?
And then I saw that article doing the trend as well. I'm like, also, why would you trade him? Like, as I did if anyone's missed it, I did the show last week. It's about 15-20 minutes on Alex Highsmith. What a new contract look like? It's not that expensive. People are overdoing it. Alex Highsmith doesn't even have 25 sacks yet in the league. He's not costing $20 million a year. He's just not. Like, why would you get rid of that? And we've seen what he does, particularly even when TJ's out. But I wanted to highlight Thomas in the live chat because Thomas, I know, I've definitely seen you around, but good to have you with us, mates, as always. All right, Marky D, I'm going to hand over to you. You're the one driving the
I haven't got a set list of questions, but I'll go
right. off. You and I are better when we're off kilter.
Yeah, we did that 6-hour podcast.
We did a 6-hour podcast.
That was pretty crazy.
So Thomas, I don't know that you were listening to us then, you were sub or not, but we did the 6-hour day 3 live draft stream. No speaker, no presenter, even on the national networks and the NFL network do 6 hours straight. They get breaks. Mark and I 6 hours straight starting at 2 a.m. We saw the sunrise.
I'm actually pretty excited for next year. I think it's going to be an annual thing. I think I'm keen for like the day 3 has to be the 6-hour one of like, let's go 3 a.m. and like no news, nothing. Let's just like,
I think people will be more prepared for it next year as well. Like the people we did have in the chat. So,
I don't think you and
Yeah.
I were that prepared. You just woke up really happy, and I was like 3 a.m. It's like, let's go, and I was like,
I had 2 hours sleep. It was wild.
Oh man.
Yeah.
You know what though? Okay, to start the show, so I'm gonna pick 2 players on defense and then give you a random question. And this one's gonna be really random from the very start. And you guys can
Yeah.
also answer in the chat, right? Who would you rather play with? Right?
Okay.
As a duo. Now I did see the other day too.
So is that am I playing with them like on the team or just
on
as
the
a
field.
fan or as the coach? On the field. Okay. All right.
On the
Yep.
field, yeah. You like, oh, that's my brother on the team. You
Yep.
know, dap, all
Yep.
that kind of cool stuff, right? Because I saw a thing that was TJ Watt and Cameron Hayward was the duo. NFL Australia put that out. I'm like, I don't think they're the duo. I would more likely see that TJ Watt and Highsmith are the duo. Now I'm going to split them for you. Who would you rather play with? Would you rather play with TJ Watt on the other side, and you know, or would you rather play with on the team like Ewan and Alex Highsmith, or vice versa? Who would you rather be? Who would you rather play with on the team? Can only choose one.
Hayward Highsmith.
TJ Watt or Highsmith?
Or TJ? Oh, what? Every time.
What? So you'd have TJ Watt on one side and you'd be Highsmith. Is that right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to be the number one guy with being TJ Watt?
I don't know, but hang on. I took the question as if I'm playing on the team, who do I want on the other side?
Yep.
Yeah, I would want what?
Like, because you can take reps off.
Yeah, but so that like I'm not. I want to win a Super Bowl. I'm picking Watt next to me. I'm not picking Highsmith.
You know what? That was what Melvin. Is it Melvin or Melgram? Melvin Ingram didn't he? He was taking reps off every day. He had Watt over there. Was Watt playing then? I don't even know. I just feel like he didn't play. I feel like that was such a weird scenario when he played one game.
Yeah.
All right. So you're going with your mate. You're going to win a Super Bowl with Watt, and you're trading away Highsmith for Matty. Okay. Out of these 2 players, who gets more? Let's make this interesting. Who gets more interceptions, Patrick Peterson or Levi Wallace?
This year?
Yep. It's hard, isn't it? I think Wallace.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's Levi Wallace. I mean, I've got a video on this channel that says he's the unsung hero of the secondary, if not the defense. I'm not sure to say Levi Wallace. I'm going to say they get the same. They're both going to get 4.
Well, unless they, other reporting sites that they want to trade away Wallace, like that's all that news do. It's just nuts.
They're not trading away him. Not when they're going to rely on Joey Porter Jr. as like a starting corner who is a rookie. How many rookie corners get injured? Like no.
Yeah, and you just don't want to throw me in the fire.
You don't trade away. Teams win Super Bowls because they have good depth. Not like they got superstars, but we've had superstars on this team. We couldn't get it done, right? Like you have to have depth. So
yeah, so you're going to go with most interceptions are going to be Levi Wallace, which I could probably say equal.
I'm going to say equal.
You can't say equal.
I think they both get 4.
Nah, one's going to get 4.1. Something's going to happen. Someone's going to get 4.5. I don't know how you get a half interception, but someone has to win. Who would you got? You can't be. It's one or the other.
Patrick Peterson. I only have Patrick Peterson.
Do you think they're going to target him though, or do you think he's going to roam around a bit?
I just think the fact that they're going to flex him, like the quarterback when he goes to when they set the line, he'll be in one spot, and by the time the quarterback looks up, I think he's in another spot.
Yeah.
I also think that Patrick Peterson will be in positions where there's like a spilled ball or a tip pass or something like that, and he gets those interceptions. I don't think it's going to be like clearly like just like in space catch the ball. Like I think he's going to be in the right spot at the right time. That's the
that makes sense. All right, here's a cool one for you. What about out of these 2 players? Who do you think is the leader of the defense? TJ Watt or Cameron Hayward? The overall leader, the guy.
I think the cultural leader is Hayward. I think
What's a hard? I know. What's a half? I don't know how to get a half.
I don't know. You both had the hand on the ball as it
Didn't that happen with the Green Bay Packers? Didn't it? Was a half TD or something?
I think
it's a hard question.
On-field play is TJ. Cultural leader is Hayward.
Yeah, I think it's Hayward too. Actually, I think TJ.
But that's cultural leader. I think if you're looking for someone to get you out of a jam on-field play, it's TJ. Like I've always been a massive fan of TJ, and you know this. But that Seattle game, where in overtime he not only sacks the quarterback, he hits him so hard the ball fumbles out, changes TJ Watt is a game wrecker. He just
Yeah, I'm gonna go with overall. I think Hayward is the leader. I think it's gonna be quite interesting actually when he leaves or retires in 2 or 3 years' time, whatever may that be, because it's been a wild ride. I think what's he now, 12 years in the league, and he's like 34 years old or 33, something like that. All right, what about let's do another interesting one. Who gets more tackles this season? Let's go with Holcomb. One player, and the other player being Minka. Because remember how Minka got about 100 and something the other year? What about those two players?
Holcomb.
I hope so, because that means
Keanu Neal as well.
Well, if it's
they're not going to ask Minka to do that again, because that's going to ruin a guy like Minka. He's long term.
Yeah, but and also if it's going over the top all the time or 30 yards on the field, it's like, well, the defense is just obviously in stitches. All right, let's make a bit of a fight. And also, guys, you guys any questions in the chat? Bring them up, man. It's a live show. You guys are here too. You guys are in the room as well, right? Any questions? What the idea is give me a question and give me 2 players, or give me a question and I'll find 2 players. What about a fun one? Who would you not have a beer with? That we did it last week. What about who would you go to the
No, that was offense though. That was offense.
You want to do it for defense too?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll give you 2 players then.
Yeah.
What about 2 players you'd have a beer with? I'm gonna say, who have I got? Someone younger on the team, Keanu Benton, right? Number 1.
His sister plays first. What? Do they both have sisters? I don't think Cam Hayward. I think there's any sisters
on the team. The first lady Steeler. That's a good question. I don't know if they have this. I have no idea about their siblings.
I think the Watts do. The Haywards definitely don't. It's just the 2 brothers.
Imagine if they brought him into the organization. That's something that Tomlin would do. Go and hire their sister to go into the organization, like as a coach or something.
Let's get back to your big question. That's going to crack me up. No, it's good. No, it's good. I got to think of players that have their sisters.
Yeah, that's something I don't know. If we run this story, then PWF will do a whole article about it, and then
I don't talk about it. I'm just gonna bring it up because technically we're ticked not for kids, but good point, JJ. I mean Jeddah.
Yeah. Do they do that stuff? I guess it's like legal over there now for some of the NFL players. I think it's like they're allowed to now.
It's weird. It's like you don't get banned from it, but it's not like fully condoned. It's like
What Montavious Bryant couldn't do it. Now it's like everyone can do it. It's fine. Okay, what's my question? Forgot. Oh,
beers. Who would I rather be with? And you said
Keanu Benton being the younger bloke, the rookie guy. So you're talking about rookie stuff. Or who's another guy on the team? What about Patrick Peterson? Either those 2 blokes.
Keanu Benton.
Yeah, why's that? Why would you choose not Peterson? He's legend.
Because I wouldn't have a beer with Patrick Peterson. I want to have whiskeys with Patrick Peterson.
A whiskey.
Yeah. Deep and meaningful discussion over a nice whiskey, sip at it. Whereas Benton, mate, have a beer college style.
So Bennett, you're only worth a beer, mate. It's like, cheers, mate. See, I gotta go right now. 6 p.m. whiskey time with Peterson.
Exactly.
We're talking cover 2.
100%. Pre-warm up.
All right, I'll put you on the spot then again. What about who would you rather do a podcast with, one-on-one, from All Things Covered? Brian McFadden or Patrick Peterson?
No. Brian McFadden. I'd do Fadden.
I didn't even finish yet. You already.
Sorry.
So Brian McFadden. Yeah, I think he would be good too. But that'd be hard though, wouldn't it? Imagine
because you can do the old Steelers stuff. I think the range of content you can do is bigger. I also feel like on that podcast, Patrick Peterson dominates. Like that's the role, and that makes sense because he's the active player. But like, I feel like there's a lot of untapped content from Brian McFadden that we can get. So yeah.
Well, I only started watching, to be very honest. I only started watching when Peterson joined the Steelers.
Same. I'd watched 2 before that, actually.
I don't know. It was because it wasn't a full Steelers show. It was him on the Cardinals. And I was talking, right?
I kind of like that. It's kind of funny though. Like, maybe it's because we have a Steelers or a couple of Steelers podcasts on your YouTube channel and stuff. I like to listen to a bit more general NFL when I know there's some Steelers or Steelers relevant content in there. I actually kind of like that because it helps me keep diverse. And some of the Steelers media, as we've all talked about in the live chat, is just pure hype and crap. So, Thomas has a question. Does Deontay help the team or get phased out? Ooh, that's offense. Let's tackle that at the end. That's offense. Let's keep the defense going. We will tackle that. We'll bring that back.
I got a question for you on defense. When you're playing on the field, right? Who would you rather, when a play breaks down, who would you rather yell at for them being in the wrong position? Like it was their fault. Would you rather yell at, because you're the leader of the team, would you rather yell at Cameron Haywood and say, mate, you effed up? Or would you rather yell at Corey Trice, the rookie?
Cameron Haywood.
What? You going to yell at Haywood?
Yeah. 2 reasons. Cameron Haywood will get it if he's made the mistake. You wouldn't have to yell at him anyway, but you'd more yell at him like, oh man, like we got to like now we got to do this. It wouldn't be like it's your fault. Like teams that start to get into it's your fault this and you did this. Problems. It's all right, Thomas. We'll cover it at the end.
I can turn it around.
We did offense. We did offense on Monday. That's why. But we'll cover that at the end. And the reason why as well, Corey Trice is a younger guy. He's from a generation where just standing there and yelling at someone doesn't. That's not how you get through to him. How you get through to Corey Trice is like
it's fun though.
Yeah, well, that's not how it freaking works anymore. It's not. It's not 1960s.
That's how I lead. I'd yell at him. I'd just be like, "You're doing it wrong."
Well, that's not leading.
I don't care. It's my way.
That's yelling. Seriously, leading and yelling. You called me a leader. If you just said who would you rather yell at, I can tell you I'd rather yell at Devin Bush.
But he's not there. All right, I can turn that around. So, okay, what player? Hang on, how do I do this with Deontay Pickens? Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. So, what player? I can't do it. I'm trying to use Deontay Pickens to a defensive player. Okay, I got it now. Out of these two
it's easy. What position would I if I was like there was lots of injuries and Deontay or Pickens had to help out in a position, where would you play him? How about that one?
On defense?
Yeah.
Well, I'd probably put him at cornerback, right? You'd have to put him at cornerback.
I put Pickens at free safety.
Free safety. Yeah, right. So take over Kazi. Why would they ever do? I always find that funny that in our code we play offense and defense, and then they don't do it anymore, do they? This time, like some of these players could do that. Pickens could play. He runs routes.
Well, I wouldn't want Pickens to, but TJ could. Mention TJ at tight end.
Yeah, I don't know. I find that. I guess like you're a superstar, but you're only playing one side. And I get all the health and that kind of stuff, but it's like it would be fun to see them both play both sides. I don't know.
Jeremiah, it won't be Cam or Trice still messing up. It's going to be the Steelers' opponents who'll be messing up. Trice and Hayward and teammates who are going to see that. Yeah.
Okay. What about another one? What about who haven't I brought up yet? What players haven't I brought up?
Heaps of players.
Okay, I haven't brought up Roberts, right?
Yeah.
Who would you rather get? We're gonna phrase this. Who would you rather run? Like I think I asked you this question the other day, but run the ball into and get tackled by a defender. Okay. Roberts, or is it Lena Roberts?
Yeah.
Or the Keanu Neal. They're both big fellas.
Keanu Neal.
Yeah, why is that?
Because I've ran into guys that size before, and Landon Roberts is a slightly bit bigger, and Landon Roberts is used to belting big boppers, whereas I think Keanu Neal, he's still probably going to get me, but I'm more at a chance of getting out of bounds before he can touch me. So,
who's a player out of these
That's
two players?
That's a good point, George. Boykin at safety. That's a good point.
Yeah, he's a tall fella. Is he going to make the team?
What car is that? That's a sick car. It's a great car in that picture, George. What's that from?
Easy. Out of these two players on defense, which player? I gotta name him first. Okay, we've got Ogunjobi. We'll do him first.
Yeah.
Ogunjobi, or someone different to Ogunjobi. We'll do Trey Norwood. Trey Norwood's still there,
Yeah.
right? Which player would you rather spot you at the gym?
I'm definitely not Trey Norwood. But Ogunjobi. It's going to be depressing to work out with Ogunjobi.
He's a massive guy. He's a big unit.
Yeah. No, Ogunjobi. That's good. He'll be good bands. Good bands.
All right. Which player are these two blokes? JPJ or Minka would you take life advice from?
Minka or JPJ?
Yeah, life advice. You go like, hey man, I've got a big question coming up. You know, I need your advice.
Minka. But I don't think he'd say a lot. He'd do that sensei shift it back on you. He'd be like, well, what do you think about it?
He just asked you the same question that you just asked, and you'd be like, yeah, that does make sense.
How do you think you should handle it?
He's a very silent assassin, isn't he? He's very silent.
He's quietly spoken. He's like,
yeah. I'm kind of running out of ideas, man. I know it's in 20 minutes. This is harder than I thought. I'm trying to think of questions.
You were so passionate about it when we finished the offense.
Yeah, no, you put me on the spot though, man, because you said doing offense and defense. Now it's cutting 2 shows. Like,
no, I didn't.
I'm not made of money, mate.
I said just defense. At the end of the offense show, you.
All right. Which player? This will be okay. This question will get you. This question will get you for sure.
Okay.
Which player wins the Super Bowl first? Cameron Hayward or JPJ?
JPJ.
So you say in the next 2 years we're not going to win one? Fake fan. You heard it here first. Fake fan.
There's a difference between going to a Super Bowl and winning a Super Bowl.
I think Cameron Hayward just heard that and he's really pissed off. He's already pissed off anyway.
Good. Then he's going to tear through the offensive line and sack people, and then we'll make the Super Bowl.
Okay. Oh, he's actually a real good.
I'm just saying on probability. Of course, as a fan, I don't want that to be the case, but like, yeah.
Nah, you heard it here first at 9 o'clock in the morning. It's fake fan, Matty. So we'll go with that. Okay. Now here's a good one.
No, we won't go.
Headlines. Doesn't want team to succeed. Wants team to lose all the time. What about...
so I'm just like 30% of the Steelers fan.
Oh, no, I don't understand. I really don't. Like, just support your team. Oh, my goodness. Okay. What about this one? This is a real one going to happen, I think, week 1. Who gets out of these two players, TJ Watt and Cameron Hayward, who breaks Debo Harrison's record for sacks first?
Cameron Hayward.
So he's 2 away, and I think TJ's 3 or 4.
The interior pressure is going to be vital against the 49ers, and I think it'll be like a reach out sack, or it'll be like a half sack or something like that. So
yeah. So okay,
I am not an undercover Kiwi. Don't stop me with that.
Another question is, do you think they could break this? Do you think that Cameron Hayward could break it and then TJ Watt could break it after?
Yeah, that's kind of what I think. Oh, in the same game?
Yeah.
But isn't Cam only like 1.5 away and TJ's like 2?
I think TJ's 77.5. And I think Cameron Hayward is 1.5 away. So he's like 78.
They're not going to break it in the same game.
You don't reckon?
No.
Could you imagine though?
I could imagine, but it's not going to happen.
Just like Brock Purdy's like,
Cameron Hayward's not going to get 2 sacks, and then like TJ Watt's going to get like 3 sacks. That's not.
But like TJ get the first one, right? And then Cameron Hayward gets
what I think it'll be is Cam will get one, right? And TJ will get a bunch of half sacks for the first 2 or 3 games, and everyone will be like, "Oh, TJ can't like break the record now, and TJ's sack streak is over." And then TJ's just going to go like nuclear and like every game.
You know what? What would you? You know what would be worse though? I think for Cameron Hayward, he's going to break it and be the leader for like a week. And then TJ Watt's going to break it again.
Yeah, but think about it, though. He's going to be a leader in front of, like, Woodley and Joe Porter Sr. and Debo. Like, that's massive from Cameron Hayward. That's huge.
Oh, yeah. But still, like...
But Cameron Hayward to be number top 3 on that team, and with all that team's history as well, that is huge.
I just think as a level of like, you broke the record, you as a person, you'd be like, man, I've got this for like maybe a week, and you'd be like, damn, because TJ's coming right after you. Okay, out of these 2 players, who's more likely to win Defensive Player of the Year? Minka,
like Joe, me and Joe Green. Just one thing, they went back and they counted his sacks, and they reckon he only had 77.5 sacks.
Well, unofficial.
Well, it's unofficial because they didn't record them at the time, but that Pro Football Reference have had people that have gone back and watched all the tapes and videos and counted it up and looked at the stats and stuff. So yeah, but yeah, there you go. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, you were gonna ask me a question.
Yeah, who's gonna win, or better chance to win Defensive Player of the Year this year? Minka or TJ Watt? Minka might have one this year. He might have a season.
I would agree from the perspective of, for TJ to get Defensive Player of the Year, he's going to need over 20 sacks, right? That's actually really hard to do. I could see 18. Whereas I think defensive backs, there's more in their favor. So if Minka, let's say, got like 6 interceptions, 3 or 4 forced fumbles, like, I don't know, 15, 20 pass deflections and like 80 tackles, it might just be enough. But the thing about this defense that I think is going to be different to other years, which is good for us as fans, is that it's not going to be down to 1 or 2 players having an outstanding year. Everyone is going to be good. So it's going to spread the love a little bit from the statistical output. So on stats, it might be weird. It might be that the Steelers get through like 12 games and 3 players have 3 interceptions, and like there's 4 players with more than 6 sacks, but there's no one's got more than 12 sacks. Like I think the team is going to be a lot more even. But if you look at that, that's how teams like, the Eagles and stuff end up in Super Bowls, because you've got a team that can shut down the other team. So unless they're having a career year, which is always possible, I'm not so hung up on someone being the Defensive Player of the Year in this team.
Yeah, let me go to some fringe players. I'm still filthy that they didn't give TJ Watt that sack against
I know. There's lots of there's heaps of misses there.
I look back the other day, and I think the rule is, though, when it does touch the ground, there are a runner, which is kind of odd. The ball touches the ground, you're an instant runner, which is crazy. Like, you're not in a passer anymore. That's what they're saying it was. But it's still like, he should have.
Did you know the one about Jacksonville or Baltimore?
The one on Baltimore on Jackson. So when he
that was a sack. It was 100% a sack.
Yeah, but in the rules, it's like when the ball hits the ground, they're technically a runner, and that's they were going off. But I think they could have given it to him. It's like, come on, man, it makes no sense.
I think if this is how I think it should be. If the quarterback gets hit within the first 3 steps they've taken behind the line of scrimmage, it's a sack. Because how do you know it's not Like, how do you know that's the difference between scrambling and a run? And the 3 steps is basically like, it's like traveling in the NBA, right? I mean, they never call that anymore, but that's what it should be.
I got one for you.
Which player? This on the last questions, and then we're going to do the offense question.
Which player would you rather fight after they've performed the haka? Braden Fehoko or Tanner Muse?
Tanner Muse.
Why is that?
Because Fehoko just bear hugged me and throw me to the ground.
Have you seen his dad do the haka? It's amazing.
Yeah, right.
It's like, you can look it up. Look, he used to be the Hawaiian.
I guess I'm a little bit like, I played rugby with a lot of different like Pacific Islanders, so Tonga, Fiji, Samoa. So I think I'm a bit more. It feels like it's more of a novelty in America versus like having a lot of exposure to it as a kid.
So you're used to it.
Yeah, it's not lost on me. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, I think yeah, I think that sometimes
have you ever seen someone do the haka?
Something's made more. No, it's not that it's made more of it. I just think I feel like it's treated as a novelty when it shouldn't be. It's actually something very meaningful. But yeah.
Yeah, but have you ever seen the haka performed where one of the persons have used too much energy and they're a bit like it didn't go in their favor?
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Where they expended all the energy and then they tried tackling someone, and the next minute they're like, "Oh, I'm gassed."
We actually, I played against a team like that when I was in my early 20s. So they did it. The four of them that were on that team that had Pacific Island heritage, they did it, right? And one of the guys was known for being a particular tough player. And I didn't expect, I wasn't the biggest hitter. Like, I always made my tackles, but I wasn't the biggest hitter. Anyway, we kicked off to them. And he went to catch the ball, and I ran into him, and I knocked the ball straight clean out of his hands. And I just thought to myself, like, you stood there all this Mr. Ferocious on the sideline. You couldn't even catch the ball at the start. It was very, very funny.
So
my team all thought it was hilarious too, because I ran into him so I ran so quickly off the kickoff, and I didn't expect the ball to go to him. I thought the ball was going to go over his head. And then when he caught it, I kind of didn't have any chance to hit the brakes. So I just smacked into him, and he spilt the ball forward, which fumbled the ball. It was funny. Yeah.
Okay, last one. What about which player out of these two would you rather interview?
Okay.
Let's go Cameron Hayward or Highsmith. Only one player.
I love Cameron Hayward, though.
Yeah. You get one shot, one opportunity, like Eminem.
He's like my favorite player on the whole team right now. Like Kenny's fighting for that.
And if you don't, that player gets traded to the Browns.
Cameron Hayward. Bye-bye, Highsmith.
Oh, what the hell?
But man? I think Highsmith would be really good podcast. Oh. I'm picking Cameron Hayward either.
Yeah. All right. Well, 100% J Devil. I've seen the haka.
100%.
It's crazy, man.
I think it's
crazy.
I feel like some of the media make a novelty.
Well, you know what? There was one,
and I don't like. I don't like. Like I respect it. I don't think it's intentional. I just sometimes think that it's not respected in the way it should be.
There was one point I saw on the NFL Live when they pretty much told Braden Vahoko's dad, do the haka. And he said,
yeah,
you don't do that. You don't ask someone to do it like that. And he tried to do it, but didn't do it the way he wanted to, because he's even said in interviews, you have to do it with purpose and meaningful. You can't just be like, dance, monkey, dance, you know? You can't do that.
So, like I went to a school, I don't know, it's a little bit like we played rugby. Like that was the sport, like, high school footballers in, America, right? And the guy that founded rugby at the school I went to 100 years before I went there was Maori, right? So we never did it publicly because a lot of us were not obviously of that heritage, but we did it in the dressing room, like in what we call it, dressing room, like in the locker room.
Locker room.
Yeah, I'm having a mental blank, right? We do it in the locker room as a unit, the 15, 16 of us. And so the school had an official haka, which was more from, it was Maori with a bit of some more Samoan, is my understanding. And I still know it word for word to this day. And yeah, it would pump the crap out of you. But what was cool was that I always played with guys that had that heritage. So one of them would lead it off. And so you felt part of what they were bringing to the game. But I've seen people doing awesome haka and not necessarily showing it on the field. And I've seen other people that's not how they respond. But I think, the Japanese have very similar, within their martial arts, the way that people hype themselves up. At the end of the day, it's focus. But the heritage and the meaning behind it is incredible. So I think I just don't like to see it made as a novelty and disrespected. And yeah, exactly, J Devil. It's something that's really, really important. It's like some people pray before a game, right? Fijian rugby team example, always pray before a game. Plenty of teams pray before a game. It's I don't know. I don't like when things are made a novelty like that because they're very important.
When I'm playing pickleball, I just say to myself, "Don't be a loser. Go win the game," and that works.
My under 7s and under 8s rugby coach used to say, "Get the ball and score." That was all he'd say.
Yeah. But you're right. You got a lot of stuff like that. It's all in your head. You got to pump yourself up, and the huck is it's so amazing to watch. So much fun to watch, and they're just so amped up. So, but and you look back to like, was it Brian Dawkins for the Eagles? He used to turn himself into like a Wolverine. He was a madman. Like that was nuts.
100%. Like I found, the one I found that got us riled up a bit was when I don't think I've seen it in the NFL. You see it a bit more in league now. But we used to do one where you'd basically almost like hug, but you'd smack your shoulder into the opposite shoulder of them, and then you just get your shoulders warmed up, which would be really good because then when you go out and make a tackle, like you're not.
Who was the other bloke, Tommy Rodonicus, that for the NRL used to slap each other in the face?
Yeah, I'm not for that. Not for that.
110 Fahrenheit. Holy dooly.
It wasn't pro back then because rugby wasn't pro till the 90s, rugby union. But my granddad played like pro level in the 1950s. And so what he used to do, so he was like the guy in the middle of the scrum. He used to wrap his arm around the other side, right? So it'd be like Cameron, it would be like Fahoko wrapping his arm around to Cameron Hayward, and he'd punch his own teammate in the ribs, so his teammate would get amped up and get really cranky and just trample all over people all the field. Like and then he'd be like, "Oh, I keep seeing this guy on the other side punching you," and he's like, "Yeah, that guy, I'm gonna get him."
Yeah, Jesus Christ, man.
Anyway, Thomas, there's enough weird different parallels, but before we were out the show, Thomas did ask earlier on the show, does Deontay help the team or get phased out by Pickens end of season? I don't think it's about getting phased out or not, and I don't think it's about Pickens. I actually think it's about Allen Robinson. If you see Allen Robinson all over the place doing different things, and being a reliable receiver, then Deontay is potentially challenged. But and I said we talked about this a couple of weeks back anyway, Mark. Like the idea that Deontay after this year could be in a bit of trouble because he's not that expensive to move. And then you just go draft another guy, and particularly, imagine if you got a 2, a 4, and a 6 for him. Yeah, cool. Just go draft a wide receiver in the 2nd round, get another depth piece in the 4th. Like you can do that. So, or move up in the 1st to get another quality starter. So, yeah, I do think Deontay's got a tough time ahead of him, but we shouldn't be willing this. We should be wanting Deontay to get
I don't
1,100 yards and 6 to 8 TDs and all the rest of it. I think, and also people got to remember Pickens is only in his 2nd year. He might not have the breakout year that we all think he does. That doesn't mean he's terrible. I do think he's on pace for 1,000 yards, 6, 7, 8 TDs. That'll be fantastic. But we don't want Pickens to have to do it all on his own. That doesn't usually bode well. So
yeah, and to me, it's not like you don't want to have one player. I guess there is some competition there, but I don't really care who does what. But I don't think he'd be phased out. I think he'd be part of the offense. I just think it was a different year last year, changing quarterbacks, offensive stuff like that. Didn't get the TD, but I think the yards will be there. I think they'll get Pickens the ball. I think they'll get Deontay the ball. I think he'll be a factor this year, and of course Robinson as well too. Those 3 guys I think will be better than what we think. Pickens is getting up there. Robinson's a veteran. DJ's a veteran. Just got to make some smart choices with the football. Get open. You should be fine. I think
that's it. Well, with that's going to wrap up this week's Steelers Touch Down Under. Hope you all have a great weekend. It looks like it's getting pretty hot in different parts of America where you guys are at. So stay hydrated. And if you are going to be on the beverages, stay hydrated with H2O as well. Yeah, but as always, Marky D.
Drink lots of beers. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Go, Steelers.